Anyway, I'd like to welcome everybody to the July meeting of the Laconia Zoning Board of Adjustments, ZBA. And with that, may we have roll call?
Yeah. Gail Ober,
Here.
Roland Mayu,
Here.
Ori Gibbs,
Here.
Mike Foot,
Here.
and Sharon Bogart.
Here. And please note for the record, Suzanne is
Absent.
absent. Okay. Thank you. Now, as you wanted to introduce someone, we have a
Yes.
new member,
Thank
I
you.
understand.
We do. Just this morning, we have a new employee down in the planning department. Wendy Patterson has joined us.
Welcome.
She is our new zoning technician. Christine Snow retired at the end of March of this year. So Wendy will be picking up the mantle there, and we are very happy to have her. Today's her very first day, so she's just here to observe. But next month she'll be here as your zoning tech support and doing minutes. And we're very, very excited to have her, so.
Well, welcome. We look forward to working with you, and if there's anything we can do, we're really a friendly group.
I appreciate
We
that.
try
Thank
our
you.
best anyway. Every now and then we get a little off track, but I get kicked in the shin and then we get back on track, so it's okay. Before we get started, okay, we'll do the minutes next. Has everybody had a chance, I hope, to go through their minutes? And is there any corrections, deletions, additions? Everybody pretty much satisfied? Like to have a motion to accept as is?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second? Second. We have a second. Discussion? There being none, all those in favor of the minutes as is?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes are accepted. All right. Before we go into extensions, we are short one board member, so Gail, I would request that you please join us on each item tonight as a voting member, and all rights thereof, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to do some extensions. Generally, since these are all basically in the same category of the extensions, I'm going to read each of the extensions and the application numbers for them, and then I'm going to have the applicant come up, explain what they're doing, and we can have any questions you may have, and then we'll go from there. Okay? All right. The three, we're going to end up voting on each extension independently, but they're all the same, so we might as well just listen to them all at once. Is that all right with everybody?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Extension 664 Scenic Road, request for extension of special exception for multifamily use in the SFR zone. Number 2, 63-99 Fletcher Lane, request for extension of special exception. Number 3, 63-99 Fletcher Lane, request for extension of area variance. So if the applicant would please come forward, have a little chat.
Similar to the last one, 6 months ago. Good evening, everybody. Chris Dupree on behalf of the applicant, Aqua Waterfront and Aqua Vista LLC. For those that may not be familiar, I think pretty much what I have to say is spelled out in our application, but this is an overview of the Meredith Bay Aqua Vista properties. We started our development along Scenic Road originally with the townhomes, which was a 19-unit townhome development at the parcel that used to be the old Scenic Motel, I believe it was called. That required at that time a variance for the multifamily use in the SFR. We then moved over to the other side of the road, and there were originally 3 parcels involved here. The 664, 616, which is now a developed parcel, and this Fletcher Lane parcel, as it's called, which was a 911 address assigned by Public Works. But you know, when we started this, the original intent was to move from the townhomes up to this 3-building parcel. We then changed a little bit and built one of the buildings that's contemplated to go on this site here at 616. That finished construction just about a year ago. Then things changed again a little bit, and we acquired 2 parcels that were in between here, along Scenic Road. You know, one we commonly referred to as the Purple House site, and an old cottage up in back. We then went back before planning. We didn't have to come to zoning for these. But received approvals for 4 duplex townhouse buildings. We've completed 2 of those. We have 2 still yet to go. And so our planning board approvals are valid through October. Sometime in, I forget the exact date, but October of this year. So we're in the cycle where we're at planning board once a year, and we're at in front of you folks twice a year. So we're kind of in that mid-cycle. You know, not much has changed, quite honestly, since the last time I was here. We have had a couple of sales in this building, which really is the catalyst for us to being able to move over to the larger project. And completed a couple of the duplexes, as I mentioned. And then this plan is a little different from the one that you have in your packet or that you may have seen, but this is just showing the overall network of walking trails and cart paths and the interconnectivity of all of the different parcels within the development. And we have, we received our wetlands approval for a crossing at this site in June, and we've completed that crossing, and we've moved across with the construction of the path, and we've got one little segment with a culvert and a structure to put in here, which is actually underway now, and then that network will be completed. And you know, as I outlined in the application, we meet the tests for the special exception and variance extensions. You know, things that have changed really have been things that we've been changing, and they've all been pretty consistent over the past few years.
Any questions? There being none, I'd like to open it up to the public and ask if anybody from the public would like to speak on these extensions. Please come forward at this time and introduce yourself for the record.
For sale?
I'm sorry?
Is it for a shed?
No.
No.
There being none, I'm going to bring it back to the board. Any final questions? Okay, I'll close it, bring it to the board. Any final comments? I'm going to close it, bring it back to the board. Discussion?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Nothing seems to have expired. Everything's been done in a timely manner. They've been working on it and
I think they've
in
been,
good faith. They've been doing a lot of work up there. They've done a lot of road. They've done a lot of infrastructure type work. I think they ran into a voltage problem. Amperage, I don't know, amperage somewhere going up there, but that's okay. It has nothing to do with anything. So, any discussion? Okay, let's call it then. For, let's see, application 2009, the subject -0029, special exception, 664, for the multifamily dwelling extension. I make a motion that we accept and provide the extension till the appropriate date in December, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have that date on top. Oh,
think
there
of
it is,
January
January 17th, 2017.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Okay, the next one is application 2009-0027. It's a special exception. The applicant is requesting an extension from the approved granted by the ZBA on June 22, 2009 to allow the use of multifamily dwelling. This extension would be extended to January 17, 2017. I make a motion to accept as is.
I'll second that.
We have a motion, we have a second, discussion. There being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, the next one is application 2009-0030. Area variance, the applicant is requesting an extension from an approval granted by ZBA on July 20th, 2009 for the area variance, and the extension would be good till January 17th, 2017. Make a motion, we accept the extension.
Second.
We have a second. Discussion? There being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck and keep up the forward motion there.
Thank you.
Okay. We have no continued public hearings tonight, so that's a good thing. That means we've done all the work we possibly can. Next is we're going to move into the public hearing. The first one is application 2016-0012, 316 Court Street, special exception for a static sign. Hi, come up to the microphone, please. Let me find all the pertinence here. Okay. Tell us how we can help you.
Okay, we're no longer,
Introduce
sorry.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Oh, Jenny Sanborn, Sanborn's Auto.
Welcome to the meeting.
Oh, thank you. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm not
Don't be.
used to talking.
We're here to help you.
We used to be a mobile station. We no longer are, so we're looking to replace the existing mobile sign with a Sanborn's Auto sign with a electronic message center underneath.
Okay.
So,
Now, will this be, what color would this be?
I think I have a...
As far as the LEDs themselves?
Oh, the LEDs would be colored. It would be similar to like German Motorsports. Do you know across from Hannaford's?
Uh-huh.
That one, the underneath like that, but a little bit smaller.
Is that a single colored sign? I'm not familiar. Is that, or are our lights changing all colors? Not that I really,
I guess you can make it any color you want, but usually it's just like one color or something, but it's not like flashing all the time, no.
It's not like the one for the real estate
Oh,
company.
God. Which gives me vertigo every time I go by.
because
It's not like that one, and it's more like the one at the insurance company on the corner of Main Street and
No, not like that, no.
Not like that
No,
one either.
German Motorsports across from Hannaford's, or the party store next to us has one, too. They have, like, their logo on top.
Uh-huh.
So, like, where the mobile sign is, it would say Sanborn's Auto, similar to like that, just a plasticky, like,
Uh-huh.
I guess that's what you call it, but it would be underneath a little square,
Oh, it's like, just
like an insert
like an
type.
insert. Okay.
Let me see if I could try to
they're
see.
drawing,
Yeah, there should be in your packet.
Quite a few.
I think Vice Agency has one, something like that.
Yes, very similar to that idea.
And it's basically for showing what your specials are. for the week
Exactly.
And stuff like that.
Is it a message sign? Or
I think they technically call it a message
how often
center.
are you going to be changing the message on the sign?
Maybe once a week or something, but not every day. No.
well, you
'cause I-
could every day, it's really, you know.
I think you
we've
can
already-
do in Laconia.
Yeah, we've come down to decide that it was probably not
Yeah.
so critical, whether it's 20 seconds or 30 seconds or
I think
a minute and a half.
Sorry.
this is a static sign.
Yes,
isn't
so
it?
static.
Static is,
Static is all illumination elements on the face of static electronic changing signs shall remain at a fixed level for a period of not less than 5 minutes.
5 minutes. There you go, that's the answer then.
If it's going to change less than 5 minutes, every 4 minutes or whatever, then it's the,
So it's not like
And
the
it's
fun
dynamic.
spot.
and it's the dynamic, yeah,
The fun spot's a very
not
dynamic
like
sign.
one spot.
No.
There won't be moving elements, as far as the applicant has said.
Okay.
No, it'd be solid.
And it'll have a brightness and dimming capability so that this is my only shot. As we drive down the street, it won't blind you as
Oh,
several
no.
other of our friendly merchants in town have on their signs that just blind you as you drive by.
No. But it would have Lucky's picture on the top, though.
I could live with that.
Just, what is the overall height of this? Am I reading this right? Is that all? It's past muster. Okay, 60 feet. Is that what I'm reading there?
I can't get this, it doesn't want to,
38.
Is that past muster?
23 and a half feet.
It's 50, 61.
The overall height will be 23 feet, 8 inches.
Added to the 38 feet below it.
So you're talking 62 feet?
Yeah.
That ring mustard
pretty high
within
for a
that,
sign.
about 62 feet?
I don't think that's right.
Well, here it says 38
Yeah, it's
from the ground up,
Yeah.
the tubing.
okay? Then you've got 5 inches or something. And then you got 23 and 5/8 feet.
What is a,
I think those are inches,
These are inches?
yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say
yeah, it
that.
does say, it does say.
say.
That's a big sign.
Yeah,
No,
they're,
these are inches.
those are all in inches, I believe.
Well, then we're 5 feet in the air? Okay,
fine.
that's not big,
Oh,
is it? Yeah, was that big?
Yeah, 6 feet is more like it.
6 feet in the air? 38?
72 inches.
That's almost
Yeah,
like a
that's-
monument. Getting close, 5, 6 feet. Now, does that gonna, this is to the staff,
Yes.
is that gonna have a visual effect as far as pulling in and out? Or is it gonna be cleared with 38 inches between the sign base and the ground? And
So my understanding is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it's going to go where there's an existing sign
Correct.
on an existing post even.
Correct, using the
So
existing
how tall is
post.
that existing post, do you know?
I'm not sure I have a picture of it,
Okay,
though.
I know we discussed it, and so there's an existing post out there with a sign,
With a
and
mobile
this
sign
isn't
was.
really going to be much, if any, taller than the existing sign.
Well, I was more concerned with it being too short.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
when you're sitting in the car, you're blinded by the folks coming into town.
Yeah, it's not, it's
From seeing
actually, I should have brought the file with me, I apologize.
No, that's okay. That's
So
why I
there's an
asked.
existing post, or an existing sign that's up pretty high.
Uh-huh.
And so there's a post and then the sign. That sign is gonna come off, and this new sign will go in the same place.
Okay.
So we're not concerned about,
All right.
That
about
visual line of sight.
Yep.
Did you- Excuse me, did you say about the same place where the mobile sign was?
Yes, yep,
Yeah, that doesn't bother anybody.
All right. Okay. Any other questions of the applicant at this time? With that, I'd like to open it up to the public and ask if anybody from the public wish to speak for or against this application. Please, not yet. Please come forward at this time and introduce yourself for the record and tell us how you feel. Let the record indicate no one from the public wishes to speak for or against this application. We'll bring it back to the board. Any final questions? Any closing comments? No? Okay. With that, you may sit down. I'm going to
Okay,
close it to
thank
the
you.
public and discussion. Seems like a fair and reasonable use to have a sign,
Same sign, same place.
same
So-
sign, same place. Station seems to be trying to reinvent itself, and, which is always good. We like seeing business stay, we like to see it. So, how does everybody else feel? Look good,
I think it's appropriate.
appropriate? Okay, with that, if there's no further discussion, I'd like to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, application 202-016-0012, for 361 Court Street for an EMC static display sign, Article 235, Section 58. Sign permitted with special exception. This type of sign is allowed in the commercial by special exception. This is just a reasonable spot to come and check and make sure that everything is in line, and it's not going to create any undue traffic, and there's no modifications to the roadways or impact like that. No increased demand on police, fire, or waste services, and I don't see any reason that it can't continue to be a good advertising tool in the commercial site. There's no, you're not changing the character of the commercial zone, that's what it's there for. It is appropriate, so there's not going to be a diminution of anybody's values. And once again, this follows in the general thought process of why we have the ordinance.
Second. We have a motion, we have a second. Discussion of the motion. No discussion, all those in favor of the motion.
Aye.
Enjoy your sign.
Oh, thank you.
Planning Department will be with you to provide you with the necessary information as far as your acceptance of this application. And do remember that people, your abutters have 30 days to contest this if they wish.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck. Next application is application number 2016-0013, a variance, 72 Layton Ave. Description, applicant is requesting a variance from 235:19, subset F2B, and 235, subset 35B, shoreline and setbacks in order to extend the roof lines to add a second floor. Hi.
I'm Arnie. I just looking to extend the bedrooms upstairs and for a lake view.
Uh-huh.
So, I gave you kind of smaller drawings. I'll just pull up the floor plan change. There it is. So this here is the current bedroom situation upstairs. And I have a roof extending over the front here. And what I wanted to do is extend the bedroom out so I have a lake view and include some closets in the two bedrooms, because currently I have to walk through one bedroom to get into the other, so I don't have a lot of privacy. And then have this as an open office space when I go up there and I want to work, and have a little space for that. And then there is a room over the bathroom. I wanted to make that a laundry room and bring that upstairs. So I'm just extending the bedrooms. And my other issue here is that there's a beam here that's put in. It looks like a bolted 2x12s bolted in, probably hemlock or whatever, but I constantly have to shovel the snow off that roof. I'm concerned about the snow loads. And by doing this, I take all the roof loads and put them onto the adjacent walls, and I only have a floor load on that beam, so I'm reducing that beam load by 2/3. So structurally, I've had that concern, and I'm able to do that by ripping the roof off and extending the bedrooms. Everything's on the existing foundation. This is currently what the building looks like now. And you can see here, I have these little dinky windows looking at the lake, so I wanted to extend that roof line up above, and I'm adding a 3-foot deck out front and extending the roof line to the lake to have a nice lake view. And the only part of the roof line I'm really changing here's the front. I've extended this roof up over the little porch area, but that's over the deck, so I really haven't changed any of the water drainage on the roof. It still has the same roof line. The only thing is I've extended that over the deck, but the deck's already there. So those are the proposed changes that I have.
Will the roof line change at all? The overall height of the roof line will remain as it currently is?
I'm adding a foot higher to the roof line.
And that foot high would make the final number how high?
Well, it depends on where you look at the house. I'm anywhere from 24 and 28 feet to the roof line, so that would make it 25 or to 29 feet.
And the current code is 35, if I'm not
That
correct?
is correct, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we'd be well below what...
Well below that. The only reason I'm doing that, it's all 2x4 framing. I want to put like a beam over the top plate just to stiffen that whole wall up.
Yep. Sounds great. Any questions?
Right, I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I just
Go ahead.
had one, and it's either for you or staff. Does this have to go to the DES?
No.
Okay.
And that would be because it's remaining in the same footprint?
It's the same footprint.
Okay. it's
And
the
we're
same
not
footprint.
adding a second floor, we're just rearranging the second floor?
He's kind of adding a second floor on a portion of the building, but the footprint and the actual impact to the ground.
The exterior walls
Right.
are not moving whatsoever.
I'm not
so
digging
it's
any
all
holes.
Basically internal.
It's contained in the same horizontal plane, and it's just
Right.
vertically changing.
Can I ask what the measurements are on this that I'm looking at it? What is 3/12, 8.5
That's
over
inches.
12?
So,
And 10 slash, so what does that mean?
so that's 312 inches. So basically,
Oh,
this...
3 feet, 12 inches?
Yeah.
What? Why isn't it 4 feet?
Which one? I'm not sure what you're looking at.
This one here, I mean,
Oh, up here, 3/12, that's
That's
the
the
pitch of the
pitch.
roof.
That's the
pitch of the
pitch.
roof,
Yeah.
all right, all right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 3 over 12, 3.5 over 12.
312 pitch is very shallow,
Flat.
Right, flat, snow
almost
loads.
flat. So that's going to carry snow, because the snow will never really move
Never
off of
gonna
that.
Right, so I go up and shovel, especially we had 2 storms ago, we had a lot of weight on that roof. I was really concerned.
And you mentioned that you can already see some slight bowing from the snow load.
I don't know if I've seen any slight bowing, but I've had water drip through there when it stacks up and it gets up over the clapboards. So I've got water staining from that, and I just as soon eliminate the whole thing,
Blame you.
so,
It's never a good thing.
no.
It's funny, we were talking about that today at work, about flashing.
Oh, yeah.
You know if you have enough flashing, you don't.
Till it rains.
Just keep adding flashing.
Well, I did that, I brought it up like 16 inches, but the snow's like 3 feet, it's into the windows, so.
Yep. Any other questions? Nope. There being none, I'd like to open it up to the public and ask if anybody from the public wishes to speak for or against this application. Please come forward at this time and introduce yourself for the record. Let the record indicate no one from the public wishes to speak for or against this application. Bring it back to the board for any further questions.
It's relevant, but this house is right next door to the one we approved in February.
Really?
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
you
it's
ripped, they ripped the house down. Yeah. Norman and his wife there.
Yep, I recognize the names.
There being no other questions, closing comments. There being none, you may have a seat.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to close it to the public, bring it to the board for discussion.
I think it's a good plan, Mr. Chair, if it doesn't need anything from the DES, and he's really on the same footprint, then looks like it'll be a safer house and probably add a little value to it. So,
It looks like you can take in a little bit of space and doing a little oomph.
yeah,
You're getting a bigger bang for the buck.
well,
than-
yeah,
than,
I mean, it's...
You know,
You're actually having windows to look at the lake in your lakeview house.
in privacy in a bedroom. Oh, for-
You wonder why the original builder didn't put bigger windows in that side.
I think that's just the way they were built down there at
Yeah,
that time.
probably, and it
Probably was a summer
Just-
home that's been converted a
Yep,
number
they
of
never-
times, and
never even
I had an
heard of
aunt that
them.
lived down there, and, you know, I mean, everything from the 40s and 30s and 40s and 50s.
They wouldn't have
Yeah,
assumed
they
that
wouldn't
you
have even
wanted a
thought
view
of it,
from
yeah.
the bedroom, it would have just been
The
living
smaller,
room.
yeah, the smaller the window at that time, the easier it was to heat. It was just a
want
whole
a view
different
of the
kind of
lake, go outside.
philosophy
Pretty much,
of,
yes.
just a philosophy of building that's
Yes.
changed over the last 80 to 100 years.
Okay. Like to entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve application 202016-0013 for 72 Layton Avenue North. Arnie Gottfredson, for a variance from, oops, what's the,
Variance from 235.19F2B.
oh gee, there, I lost my sheet.
Here.
Thank you. If I don't have it in front of me, I don't remember. A variance from 235-19F2B and 235-35B for setbacks in the shorelands, shorelands and shorefront district. to extend the roof lines over the existing footprint on the second floor to provide 2 larger bedrooms, giving more privacy and lake views, and adding an additional area for a laundry room and office space. The variance will not be contrary to the public interest, in that will have no impact on the setbacks from surrounding or adjoining homes. There's no change to the current footprint. There's simply extending out over an existing deck and raising the roof line, improving the safety of the home as well. Will not hamper any adjoining neighbors' views, affects no public rights by this change, and will improve the character of the neighborhood and the values by updating this home and improving the appearance. The spirit of the ordinance is observed in that they're working within the existing home footprint, creating no extra excavation on the site. They don't need to go before the state for any approvals. There are already 2 bedrooms up there on the second floor, so they're not adding to the burden to the septic system. This renovation will fit in with the character of this neighborhood, which is a neighborhood of older homes which are gradually either being replaced or renovated. And there will be no infringement on the rights of any other individuals in allowing the applicant to extend the roof line and the bedrooms. Substantial justice will be done by providing the applicant permission or this variance, to work within the existing home footprint and increase the value of not just their property, but adjoining properties as well. Literal enforcement of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship, in that the current property is dated in its construction and does have some structural issues. This will correct the structural issues and create a more comfortable and aesthetically pleasing home. The current room layouts do not have privacy. This will provide privacy for them. Let's see, what else? The proposed use is a reasonable one in this district. And I think, it will have very, very little impact, if any, on the either the neighborhood or the environment.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion, we have a second. All those, any discussion of the motion?
I agree with what she says. We're improving a neighborhood that's been gradually being improved and updated. And this is no different than anything else we've allowed to happen down there.
So, with that being said, all those in favor? Aye.
I
Enjoy your modification.
Lake views. And not shoveling your flat roof.
Shed. Yes, sir.
Throw it away. Okay, application 2016-0014. Applicant is requesting a variance from 235:35B side and rear setbacks in order to erect a shed. Please introduce yourself for the record and tell us how we may help you.
I want to put a shed on a corner of my backyard, but I think it's not be on measure. I need one side 10 feet, other 15. I be put on 6. I don't have place on other side.
You got 6 on one, you're going to
I
place
need-
it where
I
you're going to...
have sheds 10 by 8,
Uh-huh.
but I be by one side of my neighbor 6 feet, other side 6 too.
So you would have 6 foot on both sides
Yes.
left over.
Yes,
Is that correct?
yeah,
Okay. So on the side setback, it's 10? So he's going to encroach 4 feet into that one?
The side is 15.
One side is
No.
15, one is 10.
And the rear is 10?
Hang on.
No.
Here is 10. is what it
Rear is
says.
10.
This
Nope.
shows...
No, I think this
Rear
is
is-
backward. This might be
The
backwards.
rear
I
is
apologize.
15 and the side is 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually the sides are
Yeah,
10.
the sides are 10.
Could I have an
Regardless,
introduction,
this-
Chairman? As a point of process, might we have an introduction from the applicant?
For the record, would you state your name, please, sir?
Sorry?
Your name.
My name is Ljubomir Mlinar.
Thank you.
So this sketch, I apologize, it's supposed to be 10 on the side and 15 on the rear.
So we'll have a 4-foot intrusion on the side and 9 feet in the rear.
Not that much.
No, not that much.
There's an outline right here.
But he's got 15 on the side and 10 on the back, on the rear, so it should be a 15-foot setback in the rear and 10 on the side.
Yes, so if it's 6 feet from the property line, it would be 4 feet into the setback on the side
Right.
and 9 on the rear,
9 feet into it?
on the rear.
Nine feet out of a 10-foot set,
No,
Nine-
of a,
Yeah,
Fif-
so
Nine of
it's
the 15.
9 of the 15?
so they're going in, that's what's left, so they're
6 feet.
going in 6 feet into the 15, or they're
Opposite.
going 9?
They're going in
feet?
9, leaving 6. So instead of having 10 on the side and 15 on the rear, they're going to have 6 on the side and 6 on the rear as their distance from the property line.
All right, so we're going 4 on the side and 9 on the rear.
Encroachment, correct.
Right. Okay.
Sorry about the sketch.
That's the plastic shed that is,
Now, I noticed the drawing, or the actual thing there, is that the shed itself?
Yes.
I believe he started and then he
no,
came.
I only put for see how,
Yeah.
when we going, yeah.
Yeah. So,
As soon as he was informed that he had to go through the process.
so it was through the building permit process and
It's actually not big enough to require a building permit.
Okay.
It was, I think, just a general inquiry. Kalina, he just came into the office to ask.
Oh, okay.
So we may not have
Okay.
known otherwise, to be fair.
So it wasn't through complaints or nothing through any of the neighbors or any of the abutters or
You can't
anything?
even see it.
Okay.
6-foot
Yep.
fence.
Got a 6-foot fence around it.
Yeah.
How high will this shed be?
I don't know how it's high.
8 feet.
That it's plastic shed from BJ, that is not too high.
Is this a
Can't be much more
permanent
than-
shed all the time? Can you can move this shed?
Yeah, I can move them
Okay.
on concrete blocks.
Going on the concrete blocks.
Okay, so just a question for, does he need a variance if it's a movable shed?
That was my question.
I think because he started to put a foundation-like structure, we decided it was a structure, and better to be safe than sorry.
What is the sand? I'm assuming that's a big pile of sand inside the,
That is sand from my front. I dig something and put that sand. I did put that sand under the frame.
To be like a base for the...
Yeah. I be put wood frame too, and that sand be put under the frame. That is not something built of concrete. It's only black concrete for frame, nothing else.
okay, so it's only using the deck
Yeah,
blocks?
I use
For-
deck. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
So that's not cement base?
no.
Okay.
I'm surprised he needs a variance too, because if it's not on a permanent foundation, and that's a 6-foot stockade fence around it. Unless you look from the front of the house, you can't even tell that shed is there.
Most sheds that we see folks come in for don't have full pad concrete foundations, and we consider them structures. That's been our interpretation.
If a deck was on deck blocks, it would need,
Correct.
so if I had to use the same line of thought, if a deck was on deck blocks, then if you put a shed on deck blocks, it would kind of follow the same path, because a deck would need a variance if it was there.
Correct.
Right.
So, using that same chain of thought, I can see the direction that
Wait.
was. So,
Okay.
any other questions at the moment? There being none, I'd like to open it up to the public and ask if there's anybody from the public that wishes to speak for or against this application. Please come forward at this time and introduce yourself for the record. He's going, you guys are crazy.
Formalities.
Let the record indicate no one from the public wishes to speak for or against this application. Bring it back to the board for any further questions.
I do.
Please.
This is nice. This is a nice yard with a lot of effort put into it. And it looks good. I don't know why we can't make it less uncompliant. It should, if it's movable, then let's move it and make it a little less uncompliant. Otherwise, one of the things I see here, and it's going to be difficult to understand, but one of the things I do recognize, and I don't think our ordinance has changed, about gardens in certain sections of our community, which is something that we need to look at. So without being an ogre about this, there's a few things that are out of ordinance here.
You mean his flower garden?
Can't have a garden?
Vegetable garden, I know, but
Fruit
to
trees.
point to the point that the rule needs to be looked at
Yes.
in our books, that would be my point, that's all.
No, and I had thought of the same thing, and I feel the same way, that part of our ordinance needs to be looked at, because to prohibit gardening of any kind, to classify a vegetable garden or a flower garden as agriculture and prohibit it
Yeah.
in a residential zone, I think is outdated. I mean, in this day and age, the number of people who actually have gardens.
Which,
I have a
So-
flower garden.
Are you advocating for jury nullification?
So,
Yes. But I.
so that being said, I
Yes.
wonder why we can't make it just a little less uncompliant, or does it
So
matter?
what I'm understanding you're saying, Mike, is that you'd like to see the shed go a little
Like to
bit,
bring it forward, maybe a
Sure.
couple
like
of
bring it
feet.
forward and a little bit more to the
Yeah,
center?
if there's enough room to do it, and it is movable, because we just discussed whether it's a movable or not movable shed, it's movable.
What would you think would be acceptable?
I don't know,
It's hard to, I don't know how to scale this.
couple inches.
Yeah, 10 feet, well, at least a 10-foot setback, in the back, which is supposed to be the 15, right? So if we're 9 feet into 15, it's definitely more than half. Why don't we just make it a 10-foot setback in the back? And, you're 4 into a 10 on the side. What is the actual setback into the
And
side?
this
10.
is,
And
10.
he's only going 4 feet.
he's going
in.
4 feet into the side,
Okay.
which is not,
I have,
In that case, or it doesn't matter at
I
all.
have
Or it doesn't
figure out
matter.
over there, it's too much messy on
That's
that
why I
corner.
was-
I won't put shade. And I
If
have
it's all-
underground one pool right now for my son too, between the fruit, I can put them anywhere.
If I could pass this around, I think that if we show this to him, is that, I want to make sure this is what Mike had spoke of. I could pass that down to you, Mr. Chair. It's kind of written in dot, dot, dot in my ink is what I understood Mike to be saying. And then we
Yep,
can
that's-
ask,
I think basically, yes, just to move it up leave the side the intrusion into the side setback the same.
So is
But
that
you
really
just-
what you were saying, Mike?
Bring
Yeah,
it
or
up.
it can be that way, you know, if it makes it less compliant. If you're going over, whatever.
Well,
What if
and then
we
I
say
would
as
ask
long
that
as
we
it's
ask him to look at
movable
that and see if he
Right.
can
on
do that.
deck blocks, that it's fine, but if it goes to a permanent structure,
I feel better about that.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can buy into
That
that.
way, if it just stays the way it is on deck blocks.
Yep.
But if it becomes a permanent structure, then that would be something more different.
I
Yeah,
can see that.
we could put that into our thing, but
And then I don't care about where it sits.
maybe, my suggestion was that maybe we can ask Mr. Milaner if what I drew there would be okay with him.
Would you be okay moving it one more foot away from the fence in the rear,
Backside,
on the
Oh.
backside?
1 foot,
1 foot.
Yeah,
I
make that
can-
a 10.
I can.
That would be 10 foot, that would make that 10 foot in the rear. That's open.
That would make it
Oh.
7.
It'd be,
That would
Yeah,
make
you
it
want it to
7.
be 10. Or not.
To just leave it
So-
where it is.
It's currently 6 feet from the property line.
Oh, I thought it was 9 feet from the property
No,
line.
he's extending 9 feet into the
Yes.
He's 9 feet into the pit.
setback,
Okay,
and he's leaving 6.
okay.
I don't think it bothers anybody where it is.
I
In that case,
really
I can
don't.
get over, I can get
I
over,
don't
but
know
I,
there-
look today, I-
Especially with the stockade fence.
It's behind the
And,
fence.
yeah,
I
he's got
just-
in that
a,
case, I'm fine, but I like the idea of if it becomes a permanent structure.
Then we
I
need to
can live with
revisit.
all of that, and I really don't
Again,
care.
as long as it
Okay.
stays on the deck lots.
Okay. You may have that back.
yeah. Do you have a copy of the plan where he sends to the, can't use this.
Where's it?
Do you want to try to craft something, Ori, or?
Oh, let's see, okay, wait a minute, I've lost all my,
I'm kind of in the same boat.
I've lost all my stuff. Wait a minute. No, I think I've got that.
Okay.
I was just looking for his, it's not there. Yeah, there's not much there, but, all right. I'm going to make a motion that we approve application 2016-0014, 295 Pine Street, variance for setbacks, 235, 35B side and rear for the placement of a shed,
Non-permanent.
a non-permanent shed on deck blocks, is that what you call them? Extending 9 feet into the rear setback, which is 15, should be 15 feet, and 4 feet into the side setback, which should be 10 feet, which will leave a 6-foot rear setback in that, behind the shed, and a 6-foot side setback on the side. The variance is not contrary to the public interest. The placement of the shed is essentially shielded from public view by the stockade fence on the property. It's a movable shed, it's not fixed, and should the applicant choose to put it on a fixed, permanent foundation, he would be required to come back before the board for further approval. As long as it remains on a movable foundation or movable blocks, the request is reasonable. The spirit of the ordinance will be observed in that the shed is substantially hidden from public view, and it is on a, not on a fixed foundation. Will not diminish the value of the surrounding properties. Again, it's substantially hidden from public view by the fence, and it will probably enhance the value of his property, which will raise the values of the properties in the neighborhood. It puts no further undue burden on any public services. Do I want to mention something about the fact that we had what we had discussed about. I don't think I do. I think I'm going to stick just to the
This
shed.
pertains to,
This is just to the shed.
Yep,
Never mind.
just stick to the program.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literal enforcement of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship. The applicant wishes to maintain as much open backyard as he possibly can, and the placement of this non-permanent structure in this corner with these setbacks allows him to do that with no infringement on any of the public rights. There's no fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance and specific application of the provision to this property, and the proposed use is a reasonable one. It is reasonable to request to have a non-permanent shed placed on the applicant's yard.
in a condition that this doesn't, if there's an easement, I didn't look to see if there was an easement, any easements back there that this doesn't take the place of an easement. I don't know that
I
there's
don't-
one, but
I don't believe
there is any.
that it would, if in the future such an easement was determined to exist, not only would the shed have to go, the fence would have, that would have to go too, but I don't, the fact that no one from the public has come to speak against this speaks to me that there is no kind of other easement aside from what the city would require for the setbacks. And I do want to reiterate that if the shed should ever be placed permanently on a permanent foundation, the applicant would have to come back for approval for that.
Okay, we have a
Second that.
motion. We have a second. Discussion? We covered the permanent versus
Temporary.
temporary. Deck blocks, we covered all that. Everybody good? All those in favor? Enjoy your shed. They'll send you the appropriate paperwork giving you permission. Just remember that there's that 30-day period that someone can contest this. So keep that in mind as you build your shed, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Other business. Do we have any other business?
Yeah, you're from me?
I move to adjourn.
Well, one quick thing, and then I agree with you, because I want to make a record here. We're all going to make a record.
Oh, really? This is a...
Did everybody enjoy your first live night on TV? Say hi to the audience. With that, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll second
We
that
have a
motion.
second. Before we do, staff, do y'all have anything to,
I just want to note again that you'll notice you have different agendas and different packets. We're still working through some things, and next month you'll probably have a different version, and we'll work towards perfect. So thank you for your patience.
okay, with that, meeting adjourned. And I think this might be a record, other than
Well, I don't think we had a lot of controversy.